Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. It's your girl Beloved and I'm back with a new recipe for the channel. Beloved Catering Service is a business where we make all kinds of cakes, butter cookies, shortbread cookies, coconut biscuits, sugar cookies, brownies, ring donuts, meat pies, samosa, spring rolls, and all kinds of fruit drinks and fruit juices, especially sobolo. We also make all local rice dishes and Ghanaian authentic dishes. We cater for all events and occasions and any form of gatherings. You can contact us with the information provided on your screen. In today's video, we are making a Bento cake. And this cake is kind of packaged in a cupcake box. So that is what we'll be doing today. Ingredients for this include my American Buttercream Frosting, which I've colored in the shade purple, yellow, and then we'll also be using a 1M piping tip, a small 6B piping tip, and a few golden sprinkles. We'll also be using a press set, which is an alphabet press set, which I'll be using to write the inscription on white rolled out fondant. Then we'll use some gold dust and the smallest painting brush I have. Before that, I would be very happy if you could subscribe to my channel right now and then turn on your post and notification icon so that you get notified anytime I upload a new video onto the channel. And please share my videos with your friends and family. Please subscribe. To begin, I'll use a pencil to cut out 4 of the cupcake holes. Then I'll use a scissors to cut it out and then place it into the cupcake box. Here I'm going to smear some frosting onto the cake turntable after cleaning it thoroughly and then smear it nicely. Then I'll place onto it the first cake layer, trim off the top edge with the serrated knife, smear some frosting on it after drizzling it with the syrup, which is my milk and vanilla syrup, and then use the offset spatula to smoothen out the frosting evenly on the cake layer to look like this. After that, I'll remove the next cake layer and then trim off the top edge with the aid of the serrated knife. Drizzle it with some of the milk and vanilla frosting and then place it onto the frosted cake layer. These are small 5-inch cake layers, my vanilla cake layers. After doing that, I'll place onto it the frosting and then create kind of a crumb coating around the sides and top of the cake. When that is done, I'll move on to the second coverage of the cake. After doing the second coverage, I'll then use the offset spatula to move around the cake once more to catch any excess frosting. Then I'll smoothen up the top sides with the offset spatula. that, I'll slide onto the bottom part of the cake the longer offset spatula to kind of raise the cake up from the turntable onto the 7x7 parchment paper I've cut down already. This cake is packaged in a parchment paper. Now I'll use the offset spatula to kind of cover the part where the frosting has been removed from after transferring the cake onto the parchment paper. I'll do this with some of the frosting and then raise the cake and place it into the hole that was created for the cake. After placing it in, I realized that the parchment paper was longer than expected. So if you want to try this out in one way or the other, recommend to you that you use at least a 6x6 cutout of the parchment paper. So to do that, I cut off some of the parchment paper from the edges of the cake. Since there are 2 extra holes on the other side for cupcakes, I'll fill that with 1 red velvet cupcake and 1 vanilla cupcake. I'll trim off the top layers of the cupcake with a serrated knife, drizzle it with some of my milk and vanilla syrup, and then insert it into the sides where the cupcakes are supposed to be. This is the press set we'll be using today. So I use the scissors to cut out the alphabets I'll be using, both capital and small letters. After cutting out the press set alphabets, which were for happy belated birthday Mrs., and then the person I'll be delivering to's name, I then rolled out some of the white fondant into at least half an inch thickness, and then used the round cutter, which is about 3 inches, to cut out kind of a circular pattern from the fondant. After that, I picked up the press set holder and then arranged the first 5 letters, which is happy, and then inscribed it on the round cutout fondant. I then did the same and then arranged belated, inscripted it, birthday, inscripted it, Mrs., and then the person's name, all were arranged on the press set holder and then imprinted or inscripted onto the round cutout of the fondant to look like this. This wasn't an easy job though, it's very time consuming, I tell you guys, but we got it done. And this is what I wanted to write after all. So after obtaining it, I then place it onto the middle part of the cake. Now I'm going to place onto the sides where the cupcakes are supposed to be the cupcakes, and then push the parchment paper a little bit away from it since I'm going to frost it with some of the purple frosting on the edges of the frosted cake to look like this. After that, I'll use the frosting in a 1mm piping tip bag to make this rosette design on the top parts of the red velvet cupcake. This is a rosette with a 1mm piping tip. I'll then do the same, which would be a smaller version, onto the vanilla cupcake. Make some stars and then use the same 1mm piping tip to make a yellow rosette on the other parts of the vanilla cupcake. Now I'll use the pearl picker to pick 2 sprinkles and then place it onto the ends of the rosette. This cake was made for one of my mothers and it's not supposed to be so overly decorated, so this is the final look of our Bento cake. I've seen this cake trend on the internet and then I decided to try it out today. So this is the final look. After that, I decided to close the box and then place onto it my business sticker. So that is what I'll be doing in this portion of the video. This is our first attempt at making such a beautiful cake, and it turned out beautiful, I guess. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section. So this is another example of the bento cake. This is a rectangular size or a rectangular shape. The first one we did was circular, so this is the rectangular version of that. It's a 3-layer cake to be precise. So I'm going to pipe with this piping tip here, which is 356 piping tip, like so. This baby pink frosting here to make these beautiful flowers here, and also on the opposite side like this, and then extra movements here. Then we continue with this piping tip here for this side. So this is how it looks like, as simple as possible. So I'm going to write H, B, and then D. And then this. So this is how it looks like. Since this cake is a birthday cake I'm making for my elder sis, I wrote happy birthday and then the short form of her name here. So this is it. Adding the finishing touches, which is some sprinkles for a color. So this is the homemade cake box I made a few minutes ago, as usual without measurements, but it will still turn out perfect. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to lift this with the aid of the parchment paper from here into the cake box. So this is how it looks like. I will have to cut off some of the parchment paper. So I'm going to cover it like this. And this is where today's video ends. Thank you so much for watching. Make it a point to watch all our new videos this and every Thursday and Sunday for wholesome content and amazing recipes you can try with your friends and family. This year, I would like you to try every recipe that we post on the channel and then give me feedback in the comment section. Also, don't forget to turn on your post notification icon with the inscription all, so that every Thursday and Sunday if we post new videos, you will find it. And we post short videos from Monday to Sunday, so you can check that out as well. Follow us on all our social media platforms on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and here on YouTube by subscribing. Help us to grow this channel. Till we meet again, dear viewers. Bye bye.